Hi guys, good morning and welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Mandy and you can find me on the internet as Mandy Von Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. I am a 40-year-old woman and I live here in southeastern Michigan in the United States, and I live here with my husband and my two kiddos, and I love to knit and crochet and machine knit, and I just love to sit and talk about my works in progress and the patterns that I've seen that I really love and things that I want to work on and my finished objects. So if that sounds like something that could be interesting to you, please stick around. I would love it if you hung out with us. Okay, so the first things first, I am going to draw for a digital prize pattern. And the way that this works is that every week I give away a digital prize pattern. Generally it's on Ravelry, and if you don't use Ravelry, you can just let me know. The pattern prize limit is up to $15 USD, and really that's one of the rules, and the other rule is that you can only win once a month. I keep a spreadsheet of people that win and actually the patterns that they pick, and I need to go through that and pull that and then show you guys some of the latest patterns that people have been picking. I have been lacking on that. Everything has been kind of busy in life right now, but we'll get into that later in life stuff. Okay, so with all of that said, I am going to leave a blank spot right here. And if that was you, please reach out to me on either Instagram or Ravelry as Mandy Von Knits and let me know what pattern price that you want. If you don't use Ravelry, let me know that too, and I can look to find another payment platform to gift it to you on. Okay, I guess I should also mention, because as I was, doing this, I'm like, oh, I didn't tell them how they can even enter. So the way that you enter is you just leave a comment down below. And the next week, I go to a random YouTube comment picker and I put the address of the episode in and press go, and it spits out a winner. So it's just that easy. If you're interested in trying to win, just leave a comment down below and come back next week. Okay, let's talk about machine knitting, because I want to show you guys a project, and I really love this hat I made. And there's an interesting thing about this yarn, because it's not the softest. So whenever you guys talk about like Red Heart and like the rougher, scratchier Red Heart, this is the yarn that we're all talking about, I feel. Now, first of all, look at this hat. I love this hat. By the way, this hat is gonna be mine. I love these colors. So this is knit from what I believe has got to be Red Heart. So I don't have a skein, a ball band for it, but it came in one of those long Red Heart skeins, and it's just put up exactly like Red Heart would be. So I'm thinking that's what it is. These colors, I love them. So the yarn is not as soft as I would like it to be. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna throw this in the washer and dryer. I mean, I'm not scared. It'll be fine, I am sure. And when it's done, I'm hoping that it softens up a little bit and that I'm gonna use it during the winter, because I just love these colors. Look at the green and the yellow. I mean, this is totally me. If I could get away with this, and the reason that I won't is because it's a thicker worsted weight acrylic, and I don't think it would breathe. But if this was like a thinner weight, like a wool blend or something, I would make this into a sweater. Just, I love these colors. They're so vibrant. They're so pretty. And yeah, it makes a great hat. How about that? Now let's talk about machine knitting with this, because I made this on my Addie King. So I have an Addie King Express, and this knit up terribly. This was quite difficult to work through the machine, and I go through all sorts of different yarns, and I would say, if you guys have watched previously, that this was probably even harder than the Hirschner Sparkle. This would get caught to the point where I was stopping about once every 5 or 6 stitches to fix something. And that is a frustrating thing. So this was pretty much the only hat that I did this week because it took that long. I have a second one of these because obviously I have the skein of it. I have a second one of these probably on like a little bit over 100 rows. I have about 20 more to go. And I'm going to work through the yarn, and it's going to be fine. And I know that my daughter is going to love a hat like this as well. But very difficult to work with this yarn. We're just going to leave it at that. But the colors, I love the colors. The colors on this yarn make me so happy. And it's so sad that it's just a little bit more rough than I would like on like a garment. So... oh well, it is what it is. I will keep you guys updated and let you know how this washes out. See if it softens some. Because, I mean, for a hat, hats don't have to be super soft. At least mine. I'll be fine if it's not like, you know, baby alpaca soft. It won't bother me that much. Garments is a completely different story, but we're going to see how that washes out. Maybe I'll try some conditioner. I have heard people talking about, you know, conditioner tricks where you have some old Red Heart and it's kind of scratchy and you'd like to soften it up a little, so people suggest trying conditioner. So I feel like it's a hat, it's made. I can figure out how I can get it soft and kind of like take part in the scientific method and just do experiments. I have been going through like 5th grade science stuff with my daughter, so that is where the scientific method stuff comes from. Okay, I have 2 yarns, well, 2 of the same yarns that I want to show you guys and talk about. So this is Re-spun. This is 100% recycled polyester, and this is from Lion Brand. And the reason that I got these, and I have this color as well, is because of the colors. They're very vibrant, and the put-ups, this is a lot of yarn. So what are we dealing with here? This is 658 yards or 602 meters. It is 284 grams, and this is worsted, I believe. Yeah, this is medium number 4. So just one of these is 600, 700-ish, and that's a lot. So I have some interesting plans for these. Now, I was talking to my friend Stephanie, and she had mentioned that when she was working this up, it wasn't very soft, and she decided to make some pet mats with it. So I'm feeling it in the skein, and it doesn't feel that rough to me. I mean, I think that this is a lot more coarse, but I can see that. And you know what? I've also really thought about what else can I make with my Addie King. So I started looking around, and you know how you guys go to like Google or go to YouTube and you put something in the search box just to kind of get ideas and think about, well, what have other people done? So I started looking, and people have actually made pet beds with their Addie knitting machines. So that is coming soon, and I'm gonna kind of talk about how they do it. So the instructions called for like pool noodles, right? You know, the floaty styrofoam, basically large cylinders. So they wanted 2 of those, and they wanted you to cut them into pieces so you have smaller cylinders. Well, it's kind of hard for me to get out to the store, right? I'm wheelchair bound, so I tend to do a lot of my shopping online. So I looked around and I couldn't really find pool noodles, at least not unless I wanted like bulk packages of them, like $100 worth of pool noodles, which wouldn't be very useful to somebody that doesn't have a pool. So I went and I found some foam cylinders, and I feel like I can use these in the same way that they used the pool noodles. What they did was they made tubes to kind of put the cylinders through. And when they had 4 cylinders, they put one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here, and kind of made like this box. And once they had the box sewed together, they took the Addy, and I'm assuming that they made a flat panel out of it and kind of enveloped a pillow form. So they've got these 4 cylinders kind of making a box, and they put the pillow form in the middle. So I'm gonna play around with this idea and kind of see what I can come up with, because my cats love like beds and mats and all sorts of things. So I feel like even if the foam cylinder thing doesn't work, I can definitely take 2 flat panels from the knitting machine and then kind of start sewing them together to make some pet mats. I feel like that would be very useful. The cats are always fighting. Fighting is the wrong word. They're always like, when one is laying on it, a pet mat, and then when they get up to like go get a drink or something, the other one comes along and lays on it, you know, just to steal it from them while they're not in the room. So I feel like since they're always doing that, they can probably use a couple more pet beds, you know, to throw in the mix and to put in different rooms so that they have options. Okay, my pets are spoiled, but I do love them. I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. I really think that it's either gonna go really good, or I will end up with like some square pet mats. But either way, it'll be okay. Okay, let's talk about what I'm knitting and crocheting. But first, let's go with knitting, because I have spent the majority of my time this week trying to work through my daughter's Christmas sweater. And I know I've talked about this a lot, and it's gonna be a Christmas themed Christmas sweater kind of podcast bonanza for a little bit. I'm trying to think of the right word and I can't. So I am using the Strange Brew pattern, and I am using, specifically right now, I am using the Doodle Knit Dictionary, and I have a doodle deck, and it's a cards, words, Mandy, words. It's cards that basically have all sorts of cat patterns on it. So it's the cat pattern doodle deck. And my daughter is 10, and she loves cats just as much as I do. So I have been working on making her basically a cat themed sweater. Now, you are going to see a whole bunch more needles, not noodles, a whole bunch more needles. I almost did it again. A whole bunch more needles than you did last week, because I have picked up for the sleeves. I don't remember if I did that last week. I don't think I did. I've picked up and knit the sleeves down to where the body was last week on both sides, because I have my yarn wrapped, and since I'm doing a gradient down, I want to make sure that I carry that gradient. The only thing I have decided though is that I want the sleeves to get darker faster than the body. So the gradient on the sleeves will kind of go a little bit faster. And I'm doing that because I feel like, first of all, I really like whenever the sleeves are darker, quicker on sweaters. I always have. If you take a look at like, what ones? So I think my painting brick sweater, I've got some fade on the sleeves, and on the sleeves I've got it getting darker quicker than the body. I do that also because I found that my sleeves, I don't get as much length in them as the body, so it helps kind of get all of the colors in. Okay, I've got her sweater going on here. So this is what I have. These are the little sleeves, and as you can see, I've got the little cats, and we've got a mouse and some more cats. And now down here, I wonder if you can see that. This is a yarn ball, and you can see the border right here. Now my thought is this is all like that pink color, and it's about ready to change to the next color right as I'm doing this border in between the yarn ball and my next pattern. So if you look here on the sleeves, it's going to be changing to a darker color right after the cat. So that would be like right there. Do you see how there's just a little bit extra on the body? And I did that for the change from here to here as well, because if you look, the white, the like cream color goes through this border and then changes to pink on the mouse, but on the arm it changes to pink right here. I am showing you guys things that nobody in the entire world is ever going to notice besides me. I am very particular with colors. I'm sorry. I am just a very silly person sometimes. I am having so much fun with this. Now, I have this yarn ball down here and this cat. What I am planning on doing next, the border comes after the yarn ball, so we'll probably be about like right here. And then after that border, there's a cat. And then the cat that she picked out. And then there's going to be one more border. And then I'm going to block it and see what happens. So I'm thinking that that will be long enough. It's going to be longer on her than I would normally make because I want it to be almost tunic-like so that it lasts for longer than it would, say, if I made it to where she would normally wear her sweaters. And I'm doing that because this is a lot of work and I don't want her to grow out of it anytime soon. I feel like width-wise she'll be fine, but especially with growing, it might pay off. It might pay dividends for her this to be just a little bit longer than I would normally make it. So I'm really happy about it. I'm really excited. I love the patterns. The doodle deck is just really cool. I've had so much fun with the Doodle Knit Directory. Let me actually take this book out really quick. I wonder if I can show you some things I've been looking at. So this right here, and this doesn't have any pattern information, so we're good to show you. I love this headband. I think that it's really cute. And I can't tell if I like it because of what it is or because of the colors, because those colors are adorable. But wait, there's more. Hang on a sec. I gotta show you this hat. And this also has no pattern information, but look at the cat hat right there. Do you guys see that? I really want to take this book and make that hat. It's so cute. And you know what? I like this one too. But these colors right here are like my colors. We've got pink, white, and black. And I love contrast like that. So I don't know if I would make the little, I don't know if you guys can see it, but on the pattern it has the little nose. I don't think I'd do that. But by the way, the main reason I'm showing you guys this is because that cat right there is the next pattern that she wants after the border. So that will probably be the pattern that finishes out the motif version of the motif part of her sweater. And after the border, it will be done on that. But I've really been excited about it. I'm like constantly trying to pick it up whenever I have some free time and work on it. And then I started thinking, well, okay, those sleeves didn't take very long. I'm going to be blocking this sometime in the upcoming months, or not upcoming months, upcoming days, not months, days. And I'm like, okay, but I still have my Christmas sweater to finish, and I have my son's to, you know, start. So I had my husband grab out the yarn that I am using for my son's Christmas sweater. And this is all yarn that he picked out. And first I'm gonna show you my Christmas bag here. This is a Christmas bag from an Adore Knit stitch marker advent at one time or another. And I can't even tell you what year it was, but I thought it was cute, and I really do like her bags. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's Adore Knit. And she always sends out just the cutest stuff. So, okay, I'm sorry for the crinkling, but let me show you his main color. Now, these were things when we went to Fiber Optic Yarn. We were in the store. My kids were told, okay, pick out a main color and pick out a mini set, because I'm going to make you Christmas sweaters and I need to know what colors that you want. So that was their homework. So my son, you saw what my daughter picked out. Now my son picked out, this is his main color. This is called In the Navy. And this is a super dark blue, like very dark, almost a black, and it's beautiful. It's tonal and it's shiny, and I love the color. You can kind of see the depth if you look at it. And it feels exactly like it looks like. It's super soft. So it is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It is 4 ounces and 420 yards, or 381 meters. Now, this is his main color. So it's going to be a darker sweater, and we are going to have to worry very much about things like color catchers. I have had quite the history with accidentally dyeing, what do I want to say? Accidentally causing one of my sweaters to bleed. I had worked on previously a sweater called East or West. I believe that's what it's called, by Locatelli. And the colors were gray, white, and like a really shocking pink. And that really shocking pink, regardless of it being pre-washed, bled anyways. So after that, I started to research, and I found out something called Syntherpool. And Syntherpool, you can actually get it in like a little jar, and you can get it from Amazon, which is where I get it. Shopping is so difficult to get into a store. I feel like you could probably find it at a supermarket maybe, or I don't know. I'm sure it's at a store locally somewhere. But what it does is you mix it with your water as you're washing your dyed items, and it prevents the dye from resetting. And whenever I have something like this, or something I'm worried about bleeding, I definitely use it. I feel like I use it anytime I'm washing something that has more than one color, because after that East or West problem, I have been very cautious of it. So I'm just throwing that out there for you guys in case you've never heard of it. It is definitely something you want to check out if you're using stuff that has the potential to bleed or something like that. It is the same idea, I believe, as the color catchers, except rather than being like a color catcher pad, it is just like a liquid that you pour into water. Okay, now I'm sorry for the crinkling. I'm going to be quiet so I can straighten this bag out and edit the crinkling out, so hang on. Okay, so this is the mini set that he picked out. Now we've got really dark right here, and like it gets a little bit lighter. Now I've specifically told my kiddos that whenever they picked out these colors, that, well, I told my daughter, I'm like, you know, it's not gonna pop, right? And she's like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And I told my son the same thing. Now, I have gotten through the first 3 colors on my daughter's sweater. So we're looking at like right here, and then maybe this last one for my son. I feel like it'll work out okay. Especially if I stick to like geometric patterns down here, where it doesn't really matter if you can make out the whole picture. But regardless of what, I feel like it's gonna be fun to do. Even if it were my choice, I would have picked like, what would I have picked? I would have picked like either an all cream sweater or an all black sweater, and I would have picked like pink, like hot pink minis, and either black or white as the other contrasting color, depending on what the body was. But I didn't pick those, so it's not me this time. I decided that I would let them pick out the colors that they wanted for their own sweaters, because that way they're going to like them more. So, sorry for the crinkling. Okay, now let me move this over. We're going to talk about, so last week I was like, oh, I need to start concentrating on color work, and I am going to be laser focused on color work. And that is what I am going to do. And yes, I did that for about 4 days, and then I cast on 2 new things. So I'm gonna talk about those. One is crochet and one is knit. The crochet one I'm going to do first, and the reason I'm going to do it first is because I only have, I think, a row. And you're gonna see the reason I only have a row, because this is going to be a very, very long-term project. Let me see if I can show you what the picture looks like on this. Now, this is called the Wheat Stitch Ripple Blanket, and I have been talking for ages and ages and ages about wanting to make a blanket. And I don't know if I have a picture, so nope, but it's okay because I'll put one up editing. So this pattern is by Briana K Designs, and I was looking for something that I could use with some Sidar jewel spun ombre, because I have seen this and I have had some previously in my stash, and then there was a sale and I wanted to get some more of it because I want to use it to make some like bigger baby blankets or some blanket projects. And I feel like this Sidar jewel spun ombre is the perfect candidate for this. Now, this is kind of the tag that it comes with. So it's Sidar from West Yorkshire Spinners, and it's jewel spun ombre. Now it comes in 400 gram put-ups, and it is machine washable wool cycle. Wash dark colors separately, dry flat. So it says it doesn't even have the fiber content on here. That's interesting, right? Am I missing it? No, it says it's 1,000 meters, 193 yards, and it's Aran weight yarn, and it is jewel spun ombre. And it says you should use around a 5mm hook or a hook or a knitting needle. And that's it. So I am going to put the fiber content and everything up there because I don't know what it is. But this is what wow, it's falling apart. No, I might actually have to rewind this, and I don't know that I want to, but I will. So yeah, this is how big it is. That's huge, right? And then this is what I have so far, which is also fairly big here. This is the basically the starting chain and the first row of this ripple wheat blanket. And I purposely kind of left it like it was because I wanted to get it started and I wanted to get the first row in place. The reason that I cast this on is because I have started my master's degree. Now, if you were following previously, you know that I have been kind of going back and forth, and I was studying for an AWS certification, and I kind of pushed off starting college just a little bit because I wanted to get that certification. Well, I finished the certification and I got it, and now I am moving on to starting my college master's degree. Now, the thing with the master's degree is it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of watching, it's a lot of listening, and rather than color work, which I mean I could do, I felt like doing something repetitive and easy like this ripple blanket would be a lot smarter to do. I don't know how else to put it. Now, if you take a look at the pattern pictures, because I put those up, we've got like these ripple lines, and in between there, it's changing colors. So naturally I have two balls of this, and they're not very different, and I didn't want them to be very different. I kind of wanted to experiment with this. Let me grab the other one and not get it stuck. No. And try not to fall off the chair here. Okay, success. So this one is called Citrus Sky. You could see where the yarn got stuck. And it's not just, oh no, it's 100% acrylic. Okay, I must have torn the tag. I thought that's what it was, but it feels so soft. I was kind of like, wait, there's no wool in here, right? But these are the two colors that I'm going to be using. I am going to try my hardest to work on the outside of this ball and then to rewind this one and work to the inside of that. Do you see how pleased my face is? I know I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to take this ball and basically rewind it. And I mean, honestly, I'll probably have to anyways. I'm thinking I'm going to make like just a giant round ball, not like I'm not going to take it and wind it in the cake maker. The yarn winder, the cake maker. I'm not going to wind it in the yarn winder. I feel like it's probably going to fall apart as a cake too. I think that just a regular round, like soft ball of yarn will probably work the best just because there's nowhere it can kind of collapse on itself. But let me know what you guys think, how you would wind these, because chances are I'm probably going to have to wind this one as well, just because it's kind of starting to fall apart. But they're so soft. I feel like they're going to make an excellent blanket. And like the label said, it's machine washable and it's 100% acrylic. I've never worked with the Sidar jewel spun before, and I've adored the colors forever. I know that they have ones that aren't ombre as well, and I really like those colors too. So this was kind of my way of getting into it. I was I was reading my email, and darn it anyway, they're a yarn store in Stillwater, Minnesota, I think. And I love shopping from them, and I love getting their newsletter. and their newsletter said the other day, it was talking about this yarn in particular, and it showed a baby blanket that someone made out of one skein. And it was one of those star baby blankets. And you guys know that I have a very soft spot in my heart for those. I love making them. And I just thought that that would be really cool. But my first foray into using this is going to be making this ripple blanket. And you know what? It's going to take 100 years. So, I mean, my master's degree is supposed to take 2 years. So, I mean, it's a good long-term project, right? Let me see right here. I'm going to let you guys know what size I cast on, because obviously it's a huge blanket. I did not cast on the small one. I think I cast on the full size. I just need, oh, here's the picture. Right there. I've already shown it to you, but here it is again. I was really excited about starting this. I bought this pattern specifically for this yarn. I was looking at that Step To It blanket, and that's done in DK weight, and I had really kind of wanted to try that one, but I didn't know without buying the pattern if I could translate it well enough into Aran weight, because I mean DK Aran weight, there's a pretty big difference there. But that Step To It blanket is something that I really wanted to try. If it had said, like, on the pattern page anywhere that, you know, you can convert this to other types of yarn, you would be seeing that one instead. So I am going to show you how customizable this wheat stitch ripple blanket is. Now, this doesn't give away anything, but it will show you how many different sizes you have here. So it goes from crib, stroller, all the way to king. And I cast on, what did I cast on? A full size. And I did that because I should have probably cast on a twin, but I thought that if it was a little bit bigger, it would, I don't know, it's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to work this for a couple of rows and see how long it ends up. And then there's always a chance, if my gauge is kind of off, just pulling the whole darn thing out and casting on a size that's sized according to how this goes. It's not for the faint of heart, right? Normally you'd work a gauge swatch, and you should definitely work a gauge swatch, but there's something about me that doesn't mind just starting the pattern and kind of gauging it from there. And the only problem is, if it bothers you to tear out your knitting or your crochet, I do not recommend this, because there's a lot of times I'll tear out half a sweater. It happens. Okay, let me kind of move this along, put that back, and I am going to show you what I cast on for knitting. And I have it in this like plastic bag. I love these. These are what I store my yarn in. And I store them that way, you know, to keep it safe. And then I put them in like the Sterilite containers. So they're hopefully double safe. I worry about everything, and my yarn is something I definitely worry about and definitely want to keep safe from everything, no matter what it is, because I just would be very sad if something happened to it. So I cast on the Hipster Shawl by Locatelli, and I'm sure that you guys have heard of this. This is what it looks like. And this is what I'm working on, because I bought these skeins of Plymouth Encore in this really pretty fall color, and I bought them when I was at, I'm not even going to say because I don't remember, but I bought them and I was at a yarn store, and I thought it would be really awesome to be able to use these for a hipster shawl. So that is what I am going to be doing. And I cast it on earlier this weekend, and this is where I am. Now, if you know much about shawls, because I don't know, I am not a shawl knitter. I'm going to be straight and honest with you guys. I am not a shawl knitter. I am new to all of this. I am not the best at lace, but I power through everything. Now, this one doesn't have what I would consider lace on it, but this starts off with a garter tab, which was something I've never done before. And I guess I'm going to explain it to you the way that I interpreted it. So what I did was I made like this very thin garter stitch rectangle. And then I had some stitches on here on this side from working it along this way. And then I picked up some stitches on this side and then picked up some stitches right here to where I had like that, like a little crescent. And now I'm working out from there. So you can kind of see the little garter stitch tab. And I thought that that was an interesting way of doing it. And I'm falling in love with this pattern because it's just garter stitch. And I really like just having something that I can pull out when I can't concentrate on anything else. And I feel like, okay, I can sit here with a very difficult project and kind of stare at the bag. Or I could have something like this to work on, and it will just, at least this way, I'll be able to get some progress. Now, in August, I had signed up to make, I think, 2 hipster shawls. And it was my intention to make them with this yarn. I have many, many skeins of this. So you will see 2 shawls, hopefully 2 shawls. I'll try to get 2 shawls out of it. Get 2 shawls out of what I have. I'm not sure if I can. We'll think about it. And either way, we'll see at least one of these shawls. And I signed up to make 2 of them for the Locatelli make-along. So it will be another entry if I manage to get it done by November. It doesn't seem very difficult. I like how we've got some garter bands here, and then we're going to have like these little circle holes. Let me show you the pictures so you guys know what I'm talking about a little bit. You see like the little circles and then some more garter. It doesn't seem overly hard, and it seems like it's been working up really fast. This was just from not very long. I would say like 20-ish minutes. So it does work up very fast. You can see my little marker right here. She told you to put a progress keeper on one side to mark the right side of the shawl, because you're only increasing on one side and you need to know the difference between the other side. So let me tell you what this color is called. It is called Drifting. I feel like it reminds me so much of like fall. It is Plymouth Encore Color Spun. That's what it is. I knew it was a little bit, it was one of the different Encores, because you can tell it's not like a solid or one of the heathered. It is Color Spun, which I've never used before. It's the same put up as the other kind, I think. It's 25% wool, 75% acrylic, and around 200 yards. So it's worsted weight. And since it's a shawl, we don't technically have to worry about gauge, which is another fun thing. But I'm having fun with these shawls. I feel like if I don't use them, then I can donate them to someone or give them away. I'm sure I could find somebody who would want it. So, sorry about the zipper sounds. But guys, that's it. I have gone through everything I've worked on this week, and I haven't even really done that much, but like I said, life has been up in the air. So, okay, that is all I have for knitting and crochet. So if you're leaving here, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you'd like to enter for next week's giveaway. And if you could, please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about life for like 5 minutes, because that's all I've got in me. That's all I've got in me. I have started my master's degree program, and my first class is on real life applications of data structures and algorithms. So it's a master's class on data structures and algorithms. And basically that's a very complicated way of saying, hey, we have these problems and we need to come up with solutions for them, and we need to come up with it in the most efficient way possible. Or we need to kind of think about the steps we're doing and understand why we're doing something in a certain way at a certain time. Okay, I'm sure you guys get the idea. It's going to be a very fun class, and my project, like my final project for this class, is actually going to be building an inventory management system in Python. So I was really excited about that because, you know, I'm a geek and I geek out at this stuff. So, but with that said, you know, that's kind of my main focus. I started on it earlier at the beginning of this month, because it's October now, guys. We're going to do like the zoo trick-or-treating tomorrow. I can't believe it. And you know, I said it's October, right? My husband goes to me, you know, you're not going to need a cardigan on when we go on the walk today. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, it's 89 degrees. 89 degrees in October in Michigan is really weird. So let me know what kind of weather you guys have down below. I have heard everything from like snow to like, I don't know, monsoon. So I'm sure we've got a whole huge range of things going on in the world. So let me know what kind of weather you guys are dealing with. I hope whatever it is, you're safe, you're happy and healthy, and you get all of the crafting that you need, and you get time for it, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I haven't really read much in the way of books. I'm reading right now something called It Was One of Us. I think that's what it is, by J.T. Ellison. And this person wrote a couple of books I've read previously. One of them was called Good Girls, I think. So It Was One of Us, and I'm hoping I'm not like murdering the title, so let me put the actual title up here. It is about, what is it about? It's about a husband and a wife who are struggling with infertility, and the wife keeps miscarrying after having fertility treatments, and she's just having a very, very difficult time. And this husband, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This husband is a fraternal twin, and they talk about the husband and the fraternal twin. Now, I'm team over here, the fraternal twin, because I'm not a big fan of the husband. He seems like he is very self-absorbed. And I'm trying to say that in a nice way, and it's not easy to, but if you read the book, you'll know what I mean. Anyways, it turns out that they find this woman's body and they do a DNA test to find out that the person who killed this woman, or who has DNA on this woman, is the son of this husband who's struggling with fertility treatments with his wife. So they don't have a kid, and he has no kid that he knows of. And then he starts thinking about it and realizes that when he was in grad school, in order to make money, he donated some sperm to a sperm bank. And throughout like the 23andMe and all the ancestry stuff, it turns out that he has at least 28 children. So the book is about who's murdering these women, and just dealing with all of this stuff, right? So that's where I am in the book. I don't know what else is happening. I'm pretty sure everything that I told you can be read on the back of the book. So no spoilers there, but it did seem pretty interesting. I'm always looking for good book recommendations, so if you have any, leave them down below. I love to check them out. As for TV, I am watching anime. So if you like anime, right now I am rewatching for probably the 4th time Fairy Tail. So with that said, I think it's time to go. We're gonna go for a walk outside before it gets too dark. Although, I mean, it's 89 degrees. It feels like it shouldn't get dark till like 9 o'clock at this temperature. Too bad it didn't work like that. Okay, guys, I will talk to you next week. Like I said, leave a comment down below if you'd like to enter for next week's giveaway. And give this video a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button if you can. I would really appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Bye.